All right. So we were talking about nimitta and anubhyanjana. You can see here. Nimitta means marks, anubhyanjana means features. So when we experience a sight, we don't have to get caught up in marks and features. This is what the Buddha says in many suttas. So also sound, smell, taste, touch and thought. This is a very good idea actually. I mean, because if we go past this moment, what will happen is that perceptions will be created, and along with the respective Vedana, feelings will create, and we might be in a kind of a challenging situation. So this idea is exactly the idea, the map behind Matta Meditation. This is why Matta Meditation is very important. Now I'm trying to relate this to layperson. I mean, you might think Bāhiya Sutta was an Arahant. It's a very high-end philosophical idea. How does it relate to a layperson? As a layperson, it's natural and even healthy to enjoy sensual pleasures in moderation. This is the Buddhist idea. But without Matta Meditation, it is easy to slip into unwholesome indulgence. That could be a problem. Unwholesome indulgence. That's where Matta as a meditation comes in. It helps you stay balanced, enjoying without excessive attachment, and protects you from falling into harmful desires. That's why this practice, Matta Meditation, matters. Now I want to ask you something about these sensual pleasures, enjoying sensual pleasures. And we have a word called in moderation here, but let's take these sensual pleasures. As lay people, what is the Buddhist idea that you have understood with regard to sensual pleasures? Are you supposed to avoid sensual pleasures completely? Or what should be the attitude that you should have with regard to sensual pleasures? You need to engage in sensual pleasures. But I think you are attached already. You know, once you like the food you want to eat, you are attached. This is something I want to separate out. This Western philosophical word attachment, how does it relate to Buddhism? The problem is not attachment. Now, when you take care of your parents, you are emotionally attached. Wife is attached to husband, husband is attached to wife, emotionally. It's normal. That is not a problem. Problem is when you are going to become excessively attached, extremely excessively, then you start showing manipulation, controlling, then you also have insecurity. That excessive part is the problem here. That's when moderation comes in. Matta as a lifestyle comes in, as an awareness meditation and then as a lifestyle. So you need to engage in sensual pleasures healthily, in moderation, not excessively. But then again, it's a problem. Think about someone who wants to eat 2 plates of rice. That is his or her sensual pleasure. Somebody else wants to eat half of that 1 plate. So how to look at moderation? So moderation is very individualistic. But what is important is that every individual maintains one's own moderation. That's the important. Not that there is a one way to moderate everything. It's not going to work. Right? That's why when people come to see the Buddha, depending on the person, he gave Dhamma. When some people came to see him, he didn't say anything. Why? Useless to give a Dhamma talk to that person. But he understood that person will understand Dhamma in his own way, in her own way. Patachara, Kisa Gautami's story. Kisa Gautami lost her son. She was bringing dead son everywhere. And then she came to the Buddha, asked him, can you gain his life back? And now it's very clear, Kisa Gautami's son passed away. What did the Buddha say? Life is anicca, everything is changing, death has come to your son. You bring son back to the cemetery, cremate the son. Did he say like that? He didn't say. He knew the mentality of Kisa Gautami. She is not fit to listen to a Dhamma talk. Right? That's why the Buddha said, Dhamma discussion, Dhamma talk must be done at the proper time. There is a proper time for that. Not that while you are cooking, you listening to a Dhamma talk. I don't have time, so I turn that on. So while I'm driving and all that, give some respect. So it will go to you. It will go to your heart, not to the head. You will know a lot of Dhamma in the head. It never comes down to the heart. Why? No gratitude, no preparation, no readiness for head Dhamma to go to the heart Dhamma level. Dhamma has to go to the heart, right? So that's why Buddha followed that way. And the Buddha understood Kisa Gautami will understand this thing in her own way. So then he used that story, mustard. Thai version says, I think, salt. Sri Lankan version says mustard. I will cure your son if you bring some amount of mustard. But on a condition, you have to get those things from a house that nobody had passed away. She was very happy when she could not mind about the rest of the condition. She went from one house to many other houses, and then everybody is very generous to give the mustard. But then she asked the question, has anybody passed away in your house? Yeah. Grandmother, grandfather. My mother passed away a few months ago. And then she kindly gave those things back. Finally, after going to many houses, she understood this is not only happened to me. It's a universal experience. I'm a part of it. It's like a cancer patient is understanding, why me? Why this cancer came to me? And at a certain point, she or he understands, why not me? Why not me? And why me to why not me? Right? So why not me means I'm also part of this universal experience, good, bad, happiness, unhappiness, fame, defame, criticism, compliments, happiness, unhappiness. I'm part of it. And I can process those situations. So the Buddha understood different people differently. And different people need different things to understand life. So then, Matta is important to you to figure out your wrong karma. I would say good karma, wrong karma, healthy karma, unhealthy karma. Let's talk about that. Let's take one example. Can you think about a karma? Let's say, I think you like food, right? That much, not today. Mindful eating is coming up today. Food. Then, so how to understand good karma, bad karma with regard to eating habits? Let's say you have a favorite food that you want to eat. And then, how do you look at it? So what is the thin line between the wrong karma and then good karma with regard to the taste? Overeating, that's important. You may find the food, but if you are going to overeat, then it can be a problem to you mentally, physically, right? So that means you need to set your own moderation parameters, boundaries. There's no one way to do it. Different people have different bodies, their nature, their interests. So anyway, create that safe moderation boundary. It's good for you. So that is the Matta as a lifestyle. Matta as a meditation helps you to go to that level, and then Matta will be then a lifestyle. Right? For instance, as part of healthy sensual enjoyment, good karma, you might naturally notice certain marks and features in what you see and etc. That's not unwholesome. Now, say for instance, as somebody said here, attachment. Now, in a family, do you have to like each other? That's a good question. Huh? Don't talk about wrong karma. Good karma, like you are properly married to somebody and then you have life, you have family members, you have a life going on. So, do you have to like each other in your family? Huh? Have to, right? No choice, huh? No choice become the best choice sometime. See, if you cannot like each other, then problems. I don't like to see, not to talk. the mood is out, right? So that means, what do you mean by liking? Then you like the nimitta and anubhyanjana. Going back here, then you have to like nimitta and anubhyanjana. Let's say you are married, you have to like your spouse nimitta and anubhyanjana. Right? It's okay, it's no problem. But what if when it comes to other people, right, and you see somebody else, then that is a wrong karma. Is a wrong karma. Then you bring Matta meditation into that. Now this nimitta not for me. This anubhyanjana not for me. My nimitta anubhyanjana over there with moderation. And that's how you're going to balance out this idea, right? That means you cannot always ignore nimitta anubhyanjana. In your comfort zone, in your that wholesome area, you like it. But for the unwholesome stuff, yes, nimitta anubhyanjana must be looked at through Matta meditation. Think about, you had a good lunch. You had a dessert as well, if you are that kind of person. Now you're going to see other food as well. Your body doesn't need those food, but your mind says, go grab it, go eat it. Some dessert. And then, that nimitta anubhyanjana, not for me. Wrong karma, unwholesome karma, because I already had something for me. I'm good, right? I process my sensory experience with regard to sanya vedana from Matta. So that's why you need to know that you have your healthy karma in moderation thing. It's okay to work with nimitta anubhyanjana, but don't tolerate nimitta anubhyanjana with regard to wrong karma, karmas that you should not engage in. Think about alcohol. When I see alcohol, I can't, take my mind off. I gotta go and grab it. Then you had something already. Why you wanna be alcoholic? You eat a chocolate, but don't be chocoholic, right? You learn Dhamma, but don't be, you can't say Dhammaholic, but I mean, say, right? You learn Dhamma and then live with that. Don't be clung to the Dhamma. The Dhamma will be a problem too at the end. Right? It's very important to get the tool and use it and just put it away safely, nicely. As the Buddha said in Alagadupama Sutta, right? Remember? Alagadupama Sutta introduces how to learn Dhamma. I think I always tell people, before you do Sutta study, go learn Alagadupama Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. Alagadupama means head of the snake. Then the Buddha says, learning Dhamma is like catching a snake, venomous snake, in that sutta. How did he say? He's saying that if somebody is going to catch a snake from its tail, the snake is going to bite in a moment of time. And also from the middle and also from the head, definitely. But suppose there's a gypsy snake catcher, a professional snake catcher is going to use a stick and destabilizes the snake and then properly get the control over the snake. In the same way, Dhamma has to learn in a proper way. Otherwise, that particular Dhamma, becoming a very weird philosophy, is going to bite you back. So if you don't know, don't learn Dhamma at that point. If you don't know how to do it, if you don't know how to understand it, just wait until you get to that point without learning it in the wrong way. Right? So then the Buddha said in the same sutta going on, I also give another example. There's someone who is going on a trip, long trip, and he never expected a river. So now there's a river, how to go to the other side. Then he goes back to the forest. He makes a raft, a small raft, with so many difficulties. And now he is slowly making his way to the other side of the bankment of the river. Now he is very happy. Why is he very happy? Because he could cross the river. But then he is thinking, without this raft, I could have not come here, so I have to bring it on my head. And the Buddha is asking, is it necessary? So in the same way, the Buddha is asking that Dhamma has to be kept aside while you are practicing. Don't make it as a learning burden. Some people, they were very good before learning something, some of the Dhamma, but after learning, they become very burdened. They can't even walk after that. They think it's a burden. When you learn more Dhamma, your life has to be lighter and lighter. Your thinking has to be wiser and wiser. You think widely. Earlier, you were very, your thinking perspective very small. You get arrogant very fast. You get irritated. 10 years ago, when someone says something to you, you were, when that person says one time, you become 2 times angry. That person 1 time angry, then you 3 times, 4 times angry that time. But now you know that you have to step back a little bit, at least understand what's going on and respond carefully. I don't have to respond right away. Normally people react, right? So then the Buddha says, Dhamma should not be kept as a knowledge. Learn and practice it. Don't make it a burden. So that's why it's very important to understand the practice with regard to these things. So as a layperson, you are looking at your healthy karma with regard to nimitta anubhyana. It's no problem. But with regard to wrong karma, you are definitely bringing nimitta anubhyana thing too. As you can see, Matta is just, this is very important. This Matta meditation offers a transformational shift from papancha to direct experience. What is papancha? Have you ever learned papancha before? Papancha is the word Buddha uses for a full blown akusala. Let's say you have anger, but it's not very visible. What do we call that anger? Passive anger, right? There are different people who have anger, active anger people, passive anger people. How to understand them? When some people go mad, they become very angry. You see that this person is very angry. But there are some other people, when they're angry, you don't see anything. But how do you see their anger? When their behavior, the way they are talking to you. Sometimes the talking is very nice, but the tone is not nice, their tone. You feel something wrong here, right? They are raising their voice in a good way, but still raising their voice. Then not even the truthfulness matters, but also the way how the truthfulness is being delivered matters too. Actually, those people are having passive anger. They are hiding their anger. Now, normally, when we learn about akusala, we learn the different levels of akusala, right? What are those different levels? Anusaya, then vitikkama pariyuttana, right? That means there are 7 akusalas that are latent, dormant within us. How do we look at it? Now, where is your anger now? You are all with metta at this point, but where is your anger at this point? Did you leave it at home to get it back when you go back home? Where is your anger now? Huh? Home? Latent. Latent means, where is it? Where is your jealousy? Where is your anger now? Where is your frustration now? Disappointment now? Especially anger. It is sleeping now. Don't wake him up. Him or her. Right? Sleeping. We call them latent, dormant. So how does anger rise then? When the right condition appears, anger is going to wake up. Right? Just like how you hear the particular alarm when you wake up. In the same way, when anger gets the right condition, slowly, maybe sometime very fast, rising. So the Buddha says that when an akusala, starting from anusaya, vitikkama, pariyuttana level, pariyuttana means full blown, when it is expanded to the highest possible level, Buddha calls it as a papancha. That means you are proliferated. You are very corrupted in your mind. Normally corruption comes from bribery and all that, but the very bad corruption comes within us. We are highly corrupted. We call conceptual proliferation. That really affects my direct experience with regard to processing sights, sounds, smell, taste, touch, and thought. And now we can see how does this papancha process start. Sense organ, let's say eyes, object sight, then passa, contact. Then what happens? Vedana arises. When you have the Vedana, then you name it. You name it in your own way. This is a good, not bad. I think the Malaysian way, they always say nice, nice. I don't know. For everything they are saying nice. It's nice. Good, bad. But anyway, you name it. You name the quality of the Vedana, true sanya. Then once you label it, then thoughts start beginning. Right? Vitakkas are coming. So once again, any sense faculty, its object, and then the contact together, first stage. Then, as a consequence of that, feeling arises. When feeling arises, you start interpreting, labeling, perception arises. Then thoughts are coming along with that. Then I, me, mind, concepts arise, right? And then papancha is going to start at that point. Perhaps this process takes a lot of time because it goes through kilesa, upakilesa, what else? Kilesa, upakilesa, then starting from what you call asava is the first level. We call them influxes, like in Bāhiya Sutta. Asava, then akusala mula, roots, then kilesa, defilements, upakilesas, impurities. We did a retreat, I think, a few years back here about upakilesas. Upakilesas, then proliferation, papancha. And when our thought process becomes a papancha, what will happen? A whole context of views, a world of meaning, stories, views, and it leads to conflict with self and others. Majjhima Nikāya 18, Madhupindika Sutta. Madhupindika Sutta introduces how does a small akusala becomes a full-blown akusala experience. So when you say how to understand papancha, papancha is the akusala experience, the Pali word for akusala experience. How do I go through an akusala from a minor version to a full-blown version? So when you know Matta, you can cut it. You can cut it at a very earliest point, at an earlier stage. So it's good to cut it at the beginning, not let it grow. Now, Bāhiya Sutta here, as you can see, it supports us to cut it in this way as we learn here. When seeing, just see. When hearing, just hear. When sensing, just sense. When thinking, just know. The same thing. Because of the timing, I'm going to send this slide later, so don't worry. Okay, so characteristics of this Matta, just knowing, immediately it helps us to come back to the present moment, right? And it's non-judgmental. Normally we are judgmental about our experience, so it also helps us not to create judgments, right? And also we don't identify. We break our habitual sense of self-ownership. Now you've been helping someone for many years and you had a bad experience with that person and now you don't want to help out anybody else. What do you call in English? Compassion, fatigue. And some people may have dana fatigue. I've been giving dana, so something bad happened in the Vihara, so I quitted. I mean, not you quitted from your dana practice, not from the temple. Right? If something happened, you may walk away, but don't quit from your good qualities. Yes, everywhere has politics. Where is not? We have our own politics in our own mentality with regard to akusala, right? It's not a big issue. So then we break that habitual sense of ownership, self-own. Everything that I want to discuss, I want to own it to myself. Why do we own it? Sometimes things I have to let go. I hear it, I let go. I see, I let go. I sense, I let go. I think, I let go. Why do I have to create, what happened to that side? I also know that before. So that self-ownership is going away with Matta. And Upekkha. Finally, Matta helps us to go to that Upekkha level. Equanimous. Accept phenomena without craving or aversion. That means whatever happens to me in my daily life, I'm creating myself with a lot of skills with regard to Upekkha. How important is Upekkha? Upekkha is the highest quality in Buddhism. Right? Highest quality. When I have Upekkha, I can go through any experience without creating stories. Matta helps me to go there. Now here what we understand, Matta supports me to go to Upekkha level. That means Matta supports me to practice Metta, Karuna, Mudita, finally Upekkha too. So once again, it's immediate because it can help us to come back to the present moment. It helps us not to judge. It helps us not to identify. We identify a lot of things with regard to our ownership, and it helps us finally to go to Upekkha level. It breaks overthinking, reactivity. It helps to have a very healthy emotional regulation in a calm. I think you can read the rest. I'm going to pick up. Okay, so finally, I'm now going into a point that I'm bringing Matta as a lifestyle now. What do we call that? Moderation. Matta as a meditation, now Matta as a moderation. It balances extremes, especially indulgence and suppression. Who taught us this thing, this balance between extremes of indulgence and suppression? Our Shakyamuni Buddha. Because he went through indulgence and suppression. Where did he go through indulgence? As a prince, he had 3 palaces for different seasons. He had a lot of things. And where did he go through suppression? Did he suppress? Ascetic, as an ascetic. For over 6 years, he went through. And he understood giving pain to the body will never get me to the enlightenment. So never give pain to the body. Right? But you understand healthy level of practice. Now we come down to a very interesting part in our daily life. Let us talk about moderation, Matta, in speech. Mitta Bhani, what's the name? Mitta Bhani. Bhani means talking. Mitta means here, certain grammar form here with regard to Matta. That means speaking in moderation. Speak only what is timely, truthful, beneficial, gentle, and with metta. Mitta Bhani means speaking in moderation, neither excessive nor inadequate. Some people come to you, they are talking, they don't stop. We don't know how to stop. If you stop, that's very embarrassing too. Because they have a lot to share with us, because nobody listened to them in their house. Maybe. Right? So, sometimes you don't need to give an advice. You just listen. That's enough in our life. Right? Don't try to think about me. I'm listening to everybody. So, normally when you see other people, they have a lot to say. Maybe nobody has listened to them. Because Dana, yesterday I had a talk about Dana. So Dana means even listening to someone is Dana. Because it's good to listen to someone. Because we talk a lot. So, we don't want to be that talkative. We just talk as necessary, and then we talk only timely, truthful, beneficial, gentle, with metta. That kind of a speech will help us to create harmony, trust, wise community. If you are very talkative, what could be happening to you? What could be at stake? You might tell lies. You might fabricate, because you need content, right? You don't have content, so you just keep talking, and then finally you are fabricating. You are creating your own story, and then Matta is not going to be with you anymore. But if you talk By reflecting, that is a good idea to balance out, moderate, go to Mitabhani level. When you speak mindfully, reflecting before, during, and after you speak, your words become naturally filtered. Such a person is a mindful communicator. Do we reflect before we talk? We just say, no, I don't think about it. But there are people who, after said different things, they are worrying about what they said in the morning. I think I said something not nice to someone. So that's not a Buddhist way to speak. The Buddha said, before you talk, think about what I'm going to talk to this person, my family member, anybody. Because words are more hurtful than the physical activities. They're very hurtful, especially when you create stories about your loved ones. It hurts a lot. That's why, to minimize that hassle, we think before we talk. Where did the Buddha say that? Ambalattika Rahuluvada Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, to his son, Rahula. He said, before you act, think before you act. Think during you act. Think after you act. Like a follow-up. Not a post-mortem. Huh? Some people, they do the post-mortem to the kusala activities, and then they finally become the post-mortem. Finally. So that means act-wise, you think before you act, and you think while you are acting, and then you think while after you're done. Actually, you are thinking. Nobody's doing things without thinking. But that thinking has no reflection wisdom. And with regard to speech, you reflect before you speak, reflect during you speak, reflect after you speak. And then thoughts. Reflect before you think, reflect during you think, reflect after you think. How is it possible? Speech and acts, they are sensible to understand. How to create another buffer to our thinking? Now, normally people go from thinking onwards. Can we create another buffer to our thinking, another layer? Have you ever done that? Or you are just operating according to what you think? Or you are thinking, these are the thoughts that I want to have, metta, karuna, mudita thoughts for this whole day, and maybe going along, right? So the Buddha said, reflect before you think. What I'm going to think? Is this thinking part of miccāditthi, wrong view, ill will, or covetousness, maybe extreme greed? So you can do that. And during and after. Then moderation with regard to food. Bhojane mattanyutas, moderation with regard to, that means matta now becomes a lifestyle. It is about moderation. This is a very vital monastic lay practice, monastic and lay practice. Moderation in food and drink intake. Mindful awareness of quantity and purpose. Do we have to tell us that there is a purpose of eating and drinking? Do we have to? Yes, that's what the mindful reflection is about. Right? Patisankha, yoniso, pindapatang, patisevami, nevadavaya, namadaya, so and so forth. That means, why do I eat? Right? And I eat with a purpose. I need to survive. That helps me not to overeat and not to create extreme wrong karma. It leads to physical health, mental clarity, and freedom from excessive attachment into sensual pleasures. Cited in the Donapaka Sutta to King Kosala, SN 3.13, as essential for spiritual growth and a healthy life. This is the very important thing. A mindful human ages slowly. Buddha is perhaps one of the earliest person to talk about anti-aging. Normally when you come to Buddhism, life is, aching, hanging and all that, What is this life? This is life, what the Buddha said? No. Buddha said that overall idea, but within that he talks about how to age slowly. Pali word, what is the Pali word? Sanikang jirati ayupalayanti. Control aging. Pala means control. Ayu means age. Have you ever heard that before? The Buddha asks you to control aging? Yes. Donapaka Sutta. On one side, he's asking us to accept our age. Yes, we have to. Even you are Buddhist or non-Buddhist, you have to accept the changes. But at the same time, he's asking us to not to die earlier. Why to die earlier? Practice more Dhamma. It's very important to live longer. Because we don't know where we're going to be reborn after this. Although we have an idea from karma and all that. But it's better to live longer to do more good karma. But when you live longer, you can't go aging faster. So then the Buddha's idea is, Manu jassa sada sati mato, mattang janato ladda bojane, tanukassa bhavanti vedana, sanikang jirati ayupalaya. He not only talks about longevity, he talks about pain management. Very interesting. That's a very big topic in today's world. Some of the diseases, they have pain. Doctors even can't do anything. They are asking you to take, what are they? Painkillers. Then the Buddha is giving us the idea about pain management, or maybe stop creating unnecessary pain, and then longevity. How does it happen? A mindful human who eats and drinks in moderation feels light. That is about affective quality, sensation, feeling. Actually, a lot of our diseases come from our food and drink patterns, right? If you take a look at it, we don't want to talk about individual freedom to eat whatever you want to eat, drink. But if you look at it, in modern world, in our ethics, we don't say that you are obese and that, but we know this is the problem, the very problem here. So when you eat and drink in moderation, you feel light. And then, tanukassa bhavanti vedana. Tanukassa means, vedana means pain. Here is pain. You mean feelings, pain. Pain are very light. Tanuka means very light. And not even that, sanikang, ayu, sanikang ji. Ayu means aging, sanikang slowly. Your aging happens slowly. So how to do it? How to create our pains lighter? How to age slowly? Mattang janato. Mattang. You have to know matta. What kind of matta? Ladda bojane. With regard to food and drinks, you have to eat and drink in moderation. The Buddha said that. Now matta has become a lifestyle here. Earlier, matta has become a lifestyle with regard to talking. There are so many things. I didn't pick up a lot of things because of the timing. So talking, eating, we are doing that every day. So I think they are. So then you can even make your pain lighter. Maybe no pain might be. Minimal to no pain. At the same time, you can age slowly. Buddha understand living longer is a path to practice more Dhamma. But when you very old, you can't practice too. You can't sit down. You can't cognize. So you need to age slowly. That has an importance. Not even that. Now, this is also very important with regard to consumption and desire, with regard to other things. Because Buddha is asking us to go for contentment, santutti. Contentment also is very important, right, finally. And what are the other places of consumption? Digital consumption. What is that? Screen time. What is the problem with screen time? Actually, it's a blessing for us to pursue knowledge through phones, gadgets, and all that. If you compare this time to 20 years back, we had to go see people to learn something. It's good. But sometimes we might have felt it's kind of bothering that person. So things were kind of esoteric at that time. You had, like Upanishad in Hinduism. You go to that person, it's a secret teaching, I'm always telling you. But now knowledge is not that censored. But the problem is AI knowledge sometimes is not accurate, not verified. That's why we understand in Cleveland Clinic, in web medicine, or maybe other psychology today, these websites are asking professional people to go and verify the information. Not that you search and get some information. But AI is still good to get an idea. It's good. We have an idea before we go somewhere to ask. So use digital gadgets. We have to use them, but wisely. That means you know the limit. Don't be addicted. Otherwise, our sleep is controlled by gadgets. Our sleep is controlled by some of the video softwares, streaming platforms. In a way, it's a pity on us because we don't know how to handle these gadgets because so many information to process. And you watch one video and that streaming software is telling you 30, 40, 50, 60 similar videos under auto-suggest. Then one video is 1 hour. Think about it. And you are watching from morning to evening and the whole day is gone. Then you are blaming internet and gadgets. Don't blame that. The problem is your habits. You should know how to properly process. If you want to watch one video, go and come back. That's mindful digital consumption. That's where we have to be. If you want to watch 2, that's enough. But not get dragged by these things. Come back to your place, what you want to do. And material acquisitions, entertainment habits, right? They all should be done with Matta. So then it will really help you to process. And just knowing is also important, just as we discussed, walking, working, speaking, and also as a compass in decision making. Sometimes we make decisions that are very extreme to other people. We don't look at the both sides of the situation. When you have Matta, you see that side, this side, here, everything. You make a very holistic decision, right? That's very important in our life. Matta is what helps. And relationships, listen without judgment, speak without excess. It's Matta too. Mindful scrolling, once again, mindful posting. You are not sharing everything. Just because your friend shared on social media, you think about, are these information true or not? Right? Finally, what we are looking at is Matta as a meditation and as a lifestyle. It's a very powerful practice if you keep doing, so you are not clinging to anything. And it, as a lifestyle practice, it helps us to see clarity and look at everything from a more compassionate perspective because we have balance. You are not defending extreme people. You are not going to be fanatics. You are not going to be having excessive ideas about anything. You want to moderate. You want to be in moderation, speaking, talking, anything in life. And finally, where is this leading to? Where is this Matta? We know it leads to Upekka, but where is this finally leading to? Middle path, NEP, Noble Eightfold Path. Because Noble Eightfold Path is the perfect level of moderation. Samadhi, right view, Samma Sankappa, right thought, Samma Vacha, right speech, Samma Kammanta, right action, Samma Ajiva, right living, ethical living, Samma Vayama, right effort, Samma Sati, right mindfulness, and Samma Samadhi, right concentration. That is the fruition, the pinnacle of this Matta, helping us to moderate our life, go to Upekka, that perfect balance, and then the highest level of our practice, Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so this is what we need to understand with regard to Matta. So I wanted to say that Matta as a meditation should be practiced in our daily life. Only when we practice, we are understanding our way of processing sanya and vedana. When we know what is my perceptions, what is my feelings, then I try to lower creating stories and labeling, interpreting. But with regard to your lay life, you may, as I said earlier, sometimes you cannot just see and just see. And sometimes maybe one of your loved ones dressing very well, you say, oh no, I just see. I see, I just see, no, I'm dressed today properly, you should see. Yeah, I can see, yeah, it's a new style, yeah. Well, nimitta and anubhyanjana, right? Healthy karma, you have to, well, somebody's impressing you. So then you have to accept that. You can't do matta in that perspective. So matta, again I'm saying, it's for the wrong karma. That's for the most part. So you have to witness all that, otherwise people are not happy in your circle. So that's something that's good for your lay life. So I think you know where to practice it, where not to practice it in proper ways. All right, so it's 11, 12. As I said early, we are going to have our group photo now, so we are minimizing time. So once we had the photo, then you may do walking meditation, come back here by 11:30 for the lunch dana. So when we finish our retreat at 5 o'clock, so you don't have to stay here, you can disperse at that time. So now please get ready for the group photo. Suranga will come and take the photo. So may all the good karmas we be making today at this point, to this point,